Thank you for tuning in today. We've got Jim Butcher's Proven Guilty, Chapter 14. Today, what we are on. This is Book 8 of the Dresden Files series. So if you've missed those other books or those previous chapters, please do take a look down below in their receding playlists. Let me go ahead here, though, and jump into Chapter 14. And while I'm doing that, make sure to grab your book, read right along, and also like or dislike my video, but share it with others. Let's go ahead here and jump right into Chapter 14. Murphy drove me home and parked me in the gravel lot next to the century-old converted boarding house. She killed the engine in the car, and it made those clicking noises they do. We sat there with the windows rolled down for a second, a cool breeze coming off the lake whispering through the car, soothing after an unrelenting heat of the day. Murphy checked her rear-view mirror and then scanned the street. "Who are you looking for?" "What?" I said. "What do you mean?" "You rubbernecked so much on the way here, I'm surprised your shoulders aren't bruising your ears." I grimaced. "Oh, that. Someone was tailing me tonight." "Are you just now telling me about it?" I shrugged. "No sense worrying you over nothing. Whoever he is, he's not there now." I described the shadowy man in his car. "Someone who ran you off the road, do you think?" she asked. "Something tells me no," I said. "He wasn't making any effort to avoid being spotted. For all I know, he could just be a PI gathering information on me for the lawsuit." "Christ," Murphy said. "Isn't that thing over with?" I grimaced. For a talk show host, Larry Fowler can really hold a grudge. He keeps doing one thing after another. Maybe you shouldn't have burned down his studio and shot up his car then." "That wasn't my fault," I said. "That's for a court to decide," Murphy said in a pious tone. "You got an attorney?" "I helped a guy find his daughter's lost dog 5 or 6 years ago. He's an attorney. He's giving me a hand with the legal process, enough so it hasn't actually bankrupted me. But it just keeps going and going." Neither of us got out of the car. I closed my eyes and listened to the summer night. Music played somewhere. I could hear the occasional racing engine. Murphy said, "Harry, are you all right?" "Hungry. A little tired," I said. "You look like you're hurting," she said. "Maybe a little achy," I said. "Not that kind of hurt." I opened my eyes and looked at her, and then away. "Oh, that," she agreed. "You look like you're bleeding somehow." "I'll get over it," I told her. "Is this about last Halloween?" I shrugged a shoulder. She was quiet for a moment. Then she said, "There was a lot of confusion in the blackout, and right after. But they found a corpse on the Field Museum that had been savaged by an animal. Lab guessed it was a large dog. They found 3 different blood types on the floor, too." "Did they?" I asked. "And at Kent College, they found 8 dead bodies there. 6 of them had no discernible means of death. One had his head half severed by a surgically sharp blade. The other had taken a .44 round to the back of the head." I nodded. She stared at me for a while, frowning and waiting for me to continue. Then she said in a quiet, certain voice, "You killed them." My memory played some bad clips in my head. My stomach twisted. "I didn't do the headless guy." Her cool, blue eyes stayed steady and she nodded. "You killed them. It's eating at you." "It shouldn't. I've killed lots of things." True, Murphy said. But they weren't fairies, or vampires, or monsters this time. They were people. And you weren't in the heat of battle when they died. You made the choice. Cold. I couldn't lift my eyes for some reason, but I nodded and whispered, more or less. She waited for me to say more, but I didn't. Harry, she said, you're tearing yourself up over it. You've got to talk to someone. There's no shame in feeling bad about killing someone. Not for any reason. I let out a short little laugh. It tasted bitter. You're the last person I'd expect to tell me not to feel bad about committing murder. She shifted uncomfortably. Sort of surprised myself, she said. But damn it, Harry. You remember when I shot Agent Denton? Yeah. Took me some time to deal with it, too. I mean, I knew he'd lost it, and he was going to kill you if I didn't do it. But it made me feel... She squinted out at the Chicago night. Stained to take a life. She swallowed. And those poor people the vampires had controlled at the shelter? That was even worse. All of those people were trying to kill you, Murph. You had to do it. You didn't have an option. You thought about it. You knew that when you pulled the trigger. Do you think you had an option? She asked. I shrugged and said, maybe, maybe not. I swallowed. The point is that I never bothered to consider it. Never hesitated. I just wanted them dead. She was quiet for a long time. What if the council is right about me? I asked Murphy quietly. What if I grow into some kind of monster? One who takes life without consideration for anything but his own will? Who cares more about end than means? More about might than right? What if this is the first step? Do you think it is? Murphy asked. I don't... Because if you think so, Harry, then it probably is. And if you decide that it isn't, it probably isn't. The power of positive thinking? I asked. No. Free will, she said. You can't change what has already happened. But you choose what to do next, which means that you only cross over to the dark side if you choose to do it. What makes you think that I won't? I asked. Murphy snorted. She reached over to touch my chin lightly with fingers on one hand. Because I am not an idiot, unlike some other people in this car. I reached up and gripped her fingers with my right hand, squeezing gently. Her hand was steady and warm. Careful. That was almost a compliment. You're a decent man, Murphy said, lowering her hand without removing it from my fingers. Painfully obvious sometimes. But you've got a good heart. It's why you're so hard on yourself. You're tired, you're hungry, and hurting. And you saw the bad guys doing something you couldn't stop. Your morale is low. That's all. Her words were simple, frank, and direct. There was no sense of false comfort to her tone. Not a trace of indulgent pity. I've known Murphy for a while. I knew that she meant every single word. Knowing that I had her support, even in the face of violation of the laws she worked to preserve, was a sudden and vast comfort. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Murphy is good people. Maybe you're right, I said. Hell's bells. I've got to stop feeling sorry for myself and start getting to work. Start with food and rest, she said. If you don't hear from me, assume I'll pick you up in the morning. Right, I said. We sat there holding hands for a minute. Karen? I asked. She looked up at me. Her eyes looked very large, very blue. I couldn't stare at them too long. Have you ever thought about, us? Sometimes, she said. Me too, I said. But the timing always seems so off, somehow. She smiled a little. He noticed. Do you think it'll ever be right? She squeezed my hand gently, and then withdrew hers from mine. I don't know. Maybe sometime. She frowned at her hand and then said, It would change a lot of things. It would, I said. You're my friend, Harry, Murphy said, no matter what happens. Sometimes, in the past, I haven't really done right by you. Like when you handcuffed me in my office, I said. Right. And when you chipped one of my teeth arresting me? Murphy blinked. I chipped a tooth? And when... Yes, all right, she said. She gave me a mild glare, her cheeks pink. The point is that I should have seen that you were one of the good guys a lot sooner than I did. And I blinked at her ingeniously and waited for her to say it. And I'm sorry, she glowered. Jerk. That had cost her something. Murphy has more pride than is good for her. And yes, I am aware of the proverb about the glass houses and stones. So I didn't give her any more of a hard time than I already had. Don't go all romantic on me now, Murph. She smiled a little and rolled her eyes. If we ever did get together, I'd kill you inside a week. Now, go get some rest. You're useless to me like this. I nodded and swung out of the car. In the morning, then? Around 8, she said, and pulled out and back onto the street. She called to me. Be careful. I looked after the car and sighed. My feelings about Murph were still in a hopelessly complicated tangle. Maybe I should have said something to her sooner, shared my feelings with her sooner, acted more swiftly, taken the initiative. Be careful, she said. Why did I feel like I'd been too careful already? Thank you for listening to Chapter 14 with me. Please do stay tuned for the rest of the chapters and even the rest of the books that are coming out. Also, appreciative if you do take a look at some of the other books, some of the other short stories, some of the other things that we have going on out there. I do want to thank you guys for all the work and all the listening that you guys do to my channel. And here I am all tongue-tied while I read. Anyway, I do want to thank you guys very much, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful, and blessed day.